morning, it's Tuesday, October the 14th.
Also ahead in the programme, delays are affecting hundreds of schools in England, which are the first in a wave of a major building project.
Breakfast has discovered that 30 hospitals are using a loophole in the rules to allow patients to buy drugs privately and still get NHS care. The government says it's banned, but Breakfast has learned that 30 hospitals across the UK are allowing patients to top up their NHS care and buy new cancer drugs privately.
Well, officially, you can't mix and match between the NHS and private care. So you're either all NHS or you're completely private. Graham Satchell has been looking into this for us. So, Graham, hello again. Why is it that some patients can have this sort of co-payment system and other patients can't?
Well, this has all come to a head, really, because there are more and more of these new cancer drugs that have come onto the market, but the NHS says you can't have them, they're not available in the NHS. Now, patients say, that's a bit unfair, I know what, I'll buy it myself. But if they do, they end up being considered in most places as a private patient, they lose their NHS care, they have to buy everything privately. You know, lots of patients say it's a pretty unfair system. What doctors in some hospitals have done is they've taken a really close look at the rules, and they've looked at this key phrase, which is you can't be an NHS patient and a private patient in the same episode of care, a key phrase, as I've been trying to find out.
OK.
There's the frog sitting on the lily pond.
For Ian Jenkins, reading to his daughter Eve has become a welcome escape.
Bunny rabbit.
That's right, a bunny rabbit.
Ian is 47. He has kidney cancer, which has spread to his lungs. Ian knows his prospects aren't good, but he wants to do everything he can to prolong his life.
I have a 2-year-old daughter. She's growing up at the moment, and memories of me are developing. And it's important that I try and engrave myself on those memories, and the longer time that I give with her, the more chance and more opportunities that there is that she's going to remember me as a dad.
A hospital appointment in Birmingham. Ian wants to top up his care and buy a new cancer drug that isn't available on the NHS. Trouble is, if he does, the current rules say he has to go all private and pay for everything.
But the details are interesting. The Code of Practice says you can't be an NHS patient and a private patient in the same episode of care.
How long has it been that you've been diagnosed with this cancer?
So, here in Birmingham, they found a way round the ban on top-ups. This visit to hospital is treated as one episode of care. Separately, another consultant writes a private prescription for the drugs. They're supplied at Ian's home by a private company called Healthcare at Home. So this, the top-up, is viewed as a separate episode of care.
Nowhere does it say that an episode of care is from diagnosis to death of your cancer. There's absolutely nothing written down. So we've just interpreted the rules in a way which I think is in favour of the patient.
What's remarkable is that topping up, something the government says is banned, is not just happening in Birmingham. I understand patients are doing it at 30 NHS hospitals up and down the country.
Top-up payments are happening. They're happening today, they'll be happening tomorrow. And provided that they're provided by organisations like ourselves outside of the auspices of the NHS, paid for by the patients and conducted in the comfort and privacy of their own home, I see no reason why they shouldn't continue.
Oh, he's fallen off the horse.
All Ian wants is to stay alive as long as possible. But his story does beg the question, why the need for a high-level review of top-ups if they're already happening all over the country?
Yes, Graham, and if 30 hospitals are already doing it, how long before others follow suit?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, it's certainly why the government says, it's part of the reason the government says it's reviewing this whole issue. Mike Richards, the cancer czar for England, is due to report on this in 2 weeks' time. The government says it recognises that hospitals do it differently in different parts of the country. So what they're saying is that when Mike Richards does report in 2 weeks' time, they're saying he'll come up with a consistent approach across the country. Now, everybody thinks that what he's going to say is that he will allow top-ups, that, you know, this battle, if you like, has been won.
And that'll be across the UK, will it?
Well, no, that is a review for England. Scotland are having their own review.
Right.
Wales and Northern Ireland will probably follow what Mike Richards says. But my understanding is that what we've just seen there, the Birmingham model, if you like, is what Mike Richards might end up recommending.
OK. Graham, thanks very much. Interesting.
Later in the programme this morning, he's the Hollywood star making his West